Favorite, and this is extremely Eurocentric, is the lost city of the lost white race, who is dwelling somewhere in Africa. You hear these same tales in South America.
Prester John.
Aye.
Prester John.
Indeed.
Yes,
Yes. Prester John. I remember that name sometime.
But again, it is so difficult to explore, and our means of preserving food and getting us in there and out alive is very tenuous. So we use waterways wherever possible.
And there are those who prey upon the ignorance of the people of Europe. My favorite, there's two of them. First of all, when the Gypsy, the Romany people, first came to Europe, they told everyone they met that they were refugees from Little Egypt, which was the nickname for what you would know as Turkey, and that they were a Christian kingdom who'd been thrown out of their land by the heathen Muslims, and that they had come in search of money to form a crusade and go back home. And that worked for a very long time.
Propaganda, yeah.
Even further afield, a man appeared in Venice a few years ago named David Lubin. He was actually Jewish, but he claimed to be the lost king of an African country, and he had been thrown from his own people. And the Venetians believed him for a while, until they figured out that he was what you would know as a con man. But this is an example of preying upon the ignorance of people that live in Europe.
Because, again, we are not stupid, all right? If a few hundred years ago you walked up and said, "Oh, I've got a dragon," we go, "They've not been seen, so you're gonna have to give me some proof." Well, now we have some proof of with dragon skin. Look, here it is. Clearly, this is something different. So if dragons exist, what else could possibly exist? Anything.
The red dragon is an ancient symbol for this island.
Giants. Huge giants. Cyclopean giants.
Aye.
Indeed.
Ooh, Cyclops.
We know that Cyclopses once existed, and we have seen their bones, mostly brought back from parts of Africa and various parts of Asia. But we've seen these bones and these skulls of giants that have this huge hole right here where their eyes should be. Now, of course, what we're actually looking at are elephant skeletons.
Right.
But we have put them together so that they look like
very large people.
It's very difficult when you've got a set of bones and you have no idea how they fit together. That requires a great deal of skill to be able to fit them together properly. And for hundreds of years, people do that incorrectly. And that's still going on in your time. That's not how it looks like. It's like this. And so it's difficult rebuilding the past from a set of bones.
Right. And again, you may think us a little gullible and credible. Oh my goodness, they really do believe in this and that and this and that silly nonsense. I will turn that around, my lords and ladies, and have you go into one of your extra large markets and look at some of the publications there and say what has been discovered in your time.
Aye.
People want to believe.
They always have. It's a much more interesting world when it has creatures and monsters and whatnot in it.
I would hesitate to say the world needs some magic, but it does need mystery.
It has some.
My lords and ladies, are there any questions that you might have?
Hi. Do we believe the Norse discovery of Iceland and Greenland?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yes.
They are part of it.
There's actually an interesting story. When the English began, we fish off of Newfoundland. And when the first Englishman went to Newfoundland, caught a cod, pulled it into the boat that was 6 feet long.
Enormous.
And the cod spoke to him.
Aye.
Now, he wasn't surprised that he caught a 6-foot-long cod.
Because there were legends.
Yes. Nor was he surprised that the cod spoke to him.
Because anything is possible in this world.
He was surprised because the cod spoke to him in Portuguese.
Bloody Portuguese.
The Portuguese got there first.
Chatty fish.
So, yes, we are well aware of Greenland, Iceland, and Newfoundland because our ships fish there frequently.
And indeed,
What's been lost is the history of what happened in those places and their discovery.
Yes, but we know of them now, and we've been fishing them for quite a while. In fact, we just finished a very short but very intense war with the Hanseatic League over fishing rights outside of Newfoundland.
The cod war.
The cod war, and it was actually fought over a fisherman that was killed there.
Aye, in one of the Icelandic towns, an English fisherman was
And it
killed.
only lasted a short period of time, but it was quite intense. It was a sea battle. There were a number of sea battles.
The Hansa is always seeking to drive the English out of the fish business, basically, by taking up all the best fishing spots.
Hate them. But we do not know of the Nordic exploration and the encampments and towns that were built there and then later abandoned.
But if you know where to look, the sagas and the Eddas tell of
But
all of
many
this
of them,
stuff.
many of them also, I mean, we associate them with invasions of our own country.
Aye.
Because many of us trace our own bloodlines back to essentially those same people.
The Norse founded not only Dublin, but also Scarborough. This is a Viking town to begin
And a lot
with.
of the people, the reason, well, you'll hear Northerners talking like this, and it's got a little bit of lilt to it, is because that is the Scandinavian world, the remnants of the Norse who settled and became assimilated.
I love that they wrote a tract and published it among their own people that said, leave the Scots alone, they're not worth your time. We will get you.
Well, the Romans thought so
Our
too.
language is based upon the Angles, who are also essentially a raiding Viking.
Aye.
More Germanic, but yes.
They're part Germanic and part Northern French. It's a
Aye.
mixture of the both.
My lords and ladies, unfortunately, we are out of time.
Sorry.
Thank you so very much.